Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to another great episode of Kyndra's Corner Comedic Edition. Love these episodes, man. But before I go ahead and bring my guests onto the stage, I need y'all please make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Y'all turn that notification bell on. Share this episode because I don't need y'all missing any more of these exclusive comedic battles, roasts, interviews, all that. Very first person I'm going to bring to the stage. One time he drove 70 miles to this chick's house thinking he was going to crack, right? And since she didn't give him no poontang, he decided to steal not only her air fryer, but the Easy Bake Oven for inconvenience. Ryan, that's how you do it.
Yeah, what are you going to do? It was actually way over 70 miles. It was actually like around 320 round trip. But, what are you going to do? Who's counting miles, huh?
You know what? That's what she gets. That's what she learned that lesson.
I call them frequent fryer miles is what I call them when I use the air fryer.
I love it. Well, let me go ahead and go to the next person. She once gave a man a pill for his migraine, and he didn't stop shivering for 8 hours. Seesh money, you know what? I want to be like you when I grow up. Like, I don't know.
Well, you know what? If you want to be like me, you got to go through a lot of fucked up shit. So buckle up. What's going on?
I've been through my fair share. Seesh, thank you so much. And you know what? Seesh is this is going to segue us into a great episode because we're talking about dispensaries, cannabis, right? And you live in a great state where it's legal. Unfortunately, in my state, I think in Ryan's state too, it's not really legal. Is it legal out there for you, Ryan?
It depends on who you're talking to, honestly. The cops, they say it's illegal, but, most people are like, who cares?
That's it. Well, Georgia, yeah, we're in the Bible Belt, so everything is, what it is. So here's some interesting news, and Ryan, let me come to you first. So this is a story I came across a while back. Local Girl Scouts were selling cookies outside of a New Jersey cannabis dispensary. But once it got way too much attention, the organization leaders decided to pull the plug, right? In other words, because the competition was losing. What are your thoughts on that, Ryan?
It's a shame. It's kind of like, there's a weird thing going on in Jersey. I've been doing, I do a lot of bar shows and whatnot, but out in Jersey, I found out if you have a brewery, you're not allowed to sell food there.
Really?
Yeah, which is kind of crazy because it's like I'm going to end up with a DUI if I don't eat something after drinking like 9 beers here. But I don't know. But then they say like, all right, well, the loophole is it's like they can partner with a food truck, have the food truck outside. So it's just kind of like when you hear that with the dispensary and, the Girl Scouts selling cookies outside of it, it's kind of like that's kind of like almost the same thing. It's like, you're just cutting off an extra stop or whatever, I don't have to stop somewhere to get cookies on the way home. But even then, I don't even eat the Girl Scout cookies anymore because they're filled with, all those types of chemicals and stuff that is just really see. That's what happens. You start scrolling too much. You see that these. It's actually probably not a good idea to be outside of the weed stores because anybody who's just, like thinking about that too much is the people that are smoking. They're like, well, I don't know. There could be like forever plastics inside of these cookies now, so I'm not entirely sure if I want to be eating these.
Mm-hmm. When was the last time you got some? Before I come to see, when was the last time you got some Girl Scout cookies, if you remember?
It's been a long time. I almost bought some of the Boy Scouts popcorn, but then I realized, I don't know if you know, the Boy Scouts, they compete and they sell popcorn.
I didn't know.
And they do this outside of like Walmarts and stuff, which are like, guys, they're selling tons of popcorn inside already. But I was like, I'll do the right thing. I'll try to support you guys. I was like, how much is a bag? They were like $20. I was like,
20.
I was like, guys, again, I can go in there and buy like 8 bags for $20. Like, and then I can break them down and sell them cheaper, like right in front of you guys.
I think you should have done that. Show them what it is. Seesh. So same thing with you with the interesting news. What are your thoughts on that? Do you need me to repeat or you got it?
I got it. So were the organization leaders Scorpios? Because that's some petty ass shit to do.
Probably all the above.
We upset because our kids are in business mindset. They don't got the business mindset. America is a consuming economy. We got to keep the dollars rolling. Mm-hmm. Why are you hating on them kids' hustle?
Mm-hmm.
They go hand in hand. You smoke weed, you want cookies. Kumbaya, motherfucker.
Yeah. I mean, they should partner up with a lemonade stand or something. I don't know if you heard. I think it was in Atlanta. But some kids, these 12-year-old kids they were having a lemonade stand outside and they got robbed at gunpoint.
You know what?
That's
That sounds like my city.
Masks. I was like, yo, that's crazy.
No, that definitely sounds
more
like
than
my
$20 in that box. Unless they
Mhm.
were just like crushing it. Like, I don't know.
That's how you know the economy's doing that bad, when we robbing little kids.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, these guys definitely don't have guns on them. Like,
Hey, you know what? So let me ask you, Cease, were
arm
you
our children. That's what I'm getting at here. We should put guns in the hands of our kids. I don't know.
let me let me ask you this question, Cease. Were you ever a Girl Scout, or when's the last time you bought some Girl Scout cookies?
Was I ever a Girl Scout? No. The last time I bought Girl Scout cookies, I don't think I've ever bought Girl Scout cookies in my life. They just happen to be there. I don't know what it is about those cookies. They just be appearing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I actually was a Girl Scout. I remember we got a chance to, like, my troop leader stayed in my neighborhood. So we all like camped outside one day. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like 8 years old. I'm going to finally go camping. We're in her backyard camping. I didn't like it because the ants started coming into the tent. And I'm like, and then the next day we wake up early. They give us hot chocolate. I smell. And I'm like, can we take a shower? They're like, no, you can go back home. I'm like, you're trying to feed us food and we didn't get a chance to brush our teeth. This is like 0 out of 0 stars. Like, I would like what is wrong with y'all, right? Eventually she stepped down.
Whose aunt was coming into your tents?
No ants. Like
no.
No, wait.
Jokes, all jokes.
Oh man, that would be bad. That's a story for another day.
I was like, yeah, the Boy Scouts are going through the same thing. It's just uncles.
Went from camping in the backyard to Epstein Island real quick.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, man? And this segues us to our question, right? So, and let me come to you, Cease, about what's something you or someone you know did that unexpectedly made a lot of money?
I can't think of nothing right now, but the first thing that comes to my mind is when I was an exotic dancer, an adult entertainer, and these rappers had came in and they're like, we got some bread to throw at you. We just need you to dance at our room. And I was like, bet, that's all I gotta do, dance. I ended up making $3,000 that night.
Really?
And they was just some real ass, I don't like saying the N word, but they was real. They just smoking and drinking. They turned on their music, and they was just throwing money all night, just throwing money all night. As soon as we stepped there, we got paid $1,500 up front because I had put 2 other girls on. So we all made $3,000 a piece.
Pretty cool.
So that I wasn't expecting that. I was not expecting that.
Was that the biggest tip that you received in your dancing career?
Yeah. And then I quickly learned, when a fool makes money, it parts ways just as fast as you get it. So
that's true. That's actually very true. Before I come to Ryan, how long were you dancing for before you said, okay, let me go ahead and call it quits?
So in total, I think I danced for 5 years. And when that happened, I think I was about 3 years in, and this was right before COVID.
Got it. I actually had wanted to be a dancer, right? But, I can't dance. I'm part of the Rhythmless Nation. I was going to be the first stripper in history bringing home pocket change. I was working for a nonprofit organization, right? So God knew what he was doing, So I'm like, and then on top of that, I didn't know. I'm like, you got to sit here and pay the tip out to the, not the madam, the house mom. You got to pay them. You got to, I think, pay the security guard. Then I'm like, guys, I can't get all this money. And then, some men, can I come home with you? It's a lot. And then some women will try to fight you because you took their customer. It's crazy. Ryan, what's something you or someone you know did that unexpectedly made a lot of money?
So kind of recently, I don't know if you guys know, up in New York there, that guy, Zoran Mamdani or whatever. He was on the cover of, I think it was the New York Post. And for some reason, like in my area, in like the Philly area and all over PA, every Wawa had copies of this.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but my buddy had texted me and he was like, yo, man, these things are reselling for like 50, 60 bucks a piece. And I was like, dude, what? So then I looked on eBay and he was right. There was some for 50, 60 bucks a piece. I mean, at a point they got up there. The most I ever sold one for was 148 bucks. And these things, like, I mean, you'd go into a Wawa, you'd find a stack of 20 of them sitting there, $3 a piece, tax free, because it's like newspaper or whatever, which I didn't even know that was a tax free thing. So then I just drove around like a madman in this area for like 5 hours, just picking up every single one I could. I drove around to like 1 a.m. and I was like, all right, I think I've hit every Wawa.
I would think, right?
Store. Everywhere the New York Post was coming in that area, I was scooping up all the stacks, and then I probably made like $4 or $5 grand off that in like 2 days. It was just kind of like, and it was the easiest thing to ship out too. It's just like a newspaper.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that was kind of like a quick burn and turn. I mean, after I had got a bunch of copies, I then started telling everybody. I was like, hey guys, like go out and make some money. Like it's out there. A couple of people I knew that followed me, they made money, but
I would say for myself, stealing from my job. One of my jobs I stole from, right? Because I kept thinking, I'm like, what? I'm just be honest, right? I don't work there no more. I don't care.
The grift. Everybody finds out the grift after staying at a job for like over like it's like 3 or 4 months. You find out like a little loophole. You're like, whoa, there's something here.
My coworker, man, shout out to him. He actually taught me, and he says, don't do like the other girl I taught. She would write down because so I worked at the kiosk, right? And so, we took cash, of course, and there were times at the very end of my shift, I don't know what it was, but whenever like I'm coming close into the end of my shift, let's say somebody paid in cash, I would have to owe the money. And so of course they're like, hey, you owe me $5, you owe me $6. And then sometimes, depending on how the manager was, this is why I'm a firm believer, your coworkers, not your friends. Don't think that your manager is your friend. It took me a while to realize that because they get flip-flopped. They're like cats. They're fickle, right? So there was a couple times she had to actually document like, oh, Kyndra's $6. She owes me $6, or Kyndra's $6 over. So what I did was like, okay, well, guess what? I owe you $6 today. It's what I'm going to take 60 out tomorrow. Kind of like you're, tithing, plus 10%, whatever. That's what I was doing. So, but then I'm gonna tell you this, right? Like I started getting a little paranoid, right? And I was like, okay, we gotta retire the thievery, because I didn't know, like sometimes the managers would sneak up on me, right? But the times they snuck up on me, by the grace of God, I actually wasn't stealing, right? But the other times I'm like, oh, like Kyndra, you brought in $1,800 worth of sales. I'm like, yeah. I'm out there killing it, right? And that was about it. I let them keep their guard down, right? Like, basically I had to let the guard down after being there for so many years. Like, oh, Kyndra's honest. She's cool. Da-da-da. Yeah, but you guys kept screwing me over. Well, there it is. So that's my answer.
He said, now's my time to strike.
Yeah. Saw the window and jumped through it.
Hey, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
I agree. I worked at Campus Food back when I was in college, and I was anybody who came in that I knew, I was like, dude, write down grilled cheese. You're getting a burger. You're getting mod sticks. Like, you're getting fries. You're getting everything. It's standard. You're getting all that standard.
This month is grilled cheese, Ryan.
I'll tell you what, it came undone the one day. I went to the bathroom, and my one friend was doing it for his buddies, and like he wrote grilled cheese and gave him a bag of like crazy shit. And like the one lady that does the register, she like was kind of disabled, so it was like also kind of fucked up that we were sending that her way because she wouldn't check the bags. But then my manager took over for her because she had to go to the bathroom or something, and he was like, yeah, let me just see what's inside your bag, man. And that seems like a heavy bag for grilled cheese. And the guy opened the bag up and he was like, dude, so they must have handed me the wrong bag. And then that kid just like, he left. And then like the kid who was on grill got fired. But and then I just kept doing it on a small scale. I was like, guys, the fries are there's no more fries, guys. It's gonna be mod sticks and like an actual grilled cheese is gonna be in the bag this time. But you're gonna get bacon on the grilled cheese. Like they're not gonna split that bread and check the meat,
Man, you know what? It always, like how they say one bad apple spoils a bunch. It always takes that one person to mess it up for everybody. I'm like, guys, what are you doing? Right? I had another job. I worked at the gym. And so, I used to let all my people come in for free. I'd be like, kind of like begging, hey, why don't you come? It's on me.
See, that's awesome.
But guess what? So half the time when I would tell people, hey, it's on me, you guys can come, just, whatever, people still wouldn't show up. They still wouldn't show up. And I'm like, guys, I'm giving you an opportunity for a free membership.
I wish I knew somebody right now at the gym, like up the street. It's an expensive gym. It's called Lifetime, but I mean, the shit's like $200 a month. But if I knew somebody at the door, man,
$200 a month for gym.
It's kind of crazy. When that place opened up, it was like $100 a month, and it was like kind of worth it. It was like 2 pools, free razors, free shaving cream, towels, lockers, all types of nice stuff. They had like, you'd get like a smoothie once a week for free there and stuff. But now it's just like, now all that's gone. It's like $200 now. It's like, yeah, I'm out. I'm not going here anymore. Can't afford this life.
They could stick that where the sun don't shine. I don't care what smooth. I don't care what you giving me. Shaving
2 months in, I could buy my own gym. I feel like at home for $400.
Really good.
No pool.
Siege, let me ask you, out of any of your jobs, what was the job that you had that you found that loophole where you're like, yeah, now that I know, oh yeah, it's on, type of stuff?
Well, I would say for the most part, I've been pretty well behaved, but working in the dental field for so long, let's just say I haven't bought floss in 9 years.
That's one way to floss.
Or toothpaste. But other than that, like, I really don't. I don't know. I just go to the fucking job and leave.
That's it.
No, I don't care for loopholes. I'm already irritated that I'm here, whatever. But
my favorite loophole was working at Papa John's back in the day, and you'd be hungry. You'd be like, yeah, like, can we get a crew pie? And he would like wouldn't make us a crew pie. He's like, no, guys, like, you guys should eat before you come here. So then you'd be like, all right, bet. You'd text your boy. You'd be like, yeah, order a large, like, half and then get like pepperoni on the other side. And then in like 20 minutes, just don't come get it. So like we would do that like almost every day. It got insane because like then my boy started doing things like he was hooking us up. He'd be like, yeah, dog, 12 wings, a cookie, 3 pizzas. I'd be like, dude, no.
That's too hot. That's hot.
Yeah,
That's hot.
I was like, you're doing too much, man. I was like, the wings is like, they keep a count on the wings. Like, they're crazy over on the wings there.
That's the creme de la creme in the money bag.
Big money, yeah. They're like, these are like $2 a piece, man. Like, make sure you don't over count these. And it's like, guys, trust me, I'm gonna count 8 here.
You know what that reminds me when you were just talking about food. One of my very first jobs, if you guys remember a job, was Quiznos. If y'all remember Quiznos, right?
Wow.
Subway. Fake ass Subway.
Yeah. I was on the Subway gang. It was like, yeah, you went to one or the other. It was like I drove by Quiznos a couple times, like what they were doing there, but I never had been able to grace a sandwich from there.
I'm glad you didn't. I mean, because it's overpriced BS. That's what it is. Because think about it, they don't even have a foot long, right? That's why it's closed down everywhere. They don't have a foot long. They only go up to 11 inches, but they charge $15. Now, mind you, this was back in like 2012, right? So $15 for a sandwich in 2012, that's expensive. Well, anyway, I'm gonna tell you what
that's like $45 today.
Yeah. So I you know what? I hated this job. Like Ceesh was like, I don't like none of these jobs. Like, I don't care for the loot. So I hate this job so much. I specifically remember I was so bad at my job. Like they move you to certain tiers. Like you make it eventually to the cashier that after you have learned everything. Well, I never made it to the cashier. I was always a person just cut open the bread. That's pretty much what it was. I was a bread cutter opener, right? I decided out the blue, my brain just said, hey, why don't you make yourself a meal while you're on the clock and just run it through the oven? So guess what? I did that. I listened to that dumb part of my brain while my manager was right there, right? And so I run it through, and then he figures like, hey, what in the world? Like, who's this? I says, Mom, Kyndra, just go home. Okay. So I went home thinking like, oh, I just need a day off. I came back, and I didn't even get a chance to clock in. He's like, hey, I'm just going to have to let you go. I said, okay. not a problem. And then so what I did was I tried to play the whole race card. He fired me because I'm black. No. He's a race. That's why he has hearing aids. Da, da, da. I was just like trying to rally up all the black folks who don't think for themselves. Be like, that man knows those group of black folks who don't try to like actually critically think like, no, you're the problem, right? Like, oh, like that, I can't believe that man left you. Well, I mean, you don't cook, you don't clean, you don't give head. Like, of course he left you. It has, whatever. So of course I went to go picked up my check about a week later. And then two of my managers both came on to me, right? One white guy, and then it was a black girl who I ended up messing around with, and that was a whole crazy story. And then the white guy, I would have messed around with him, but he's like, yeah, I ain't never had head before. I'm like, I wasn't going to give you no head. You're supposed to give me some. You solicited me, sir. You solicited me, Chris. That's his name. Hey, Chris. All right, that's all I got to say.
So he would have been reported to the proper authorities. And then I'd be like, he's the reason why I lost my job.
Well, he was smart enough. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ryan.
Did you get to take the sandwich home that day?
No, he threw it away.
That's crazy.
I'm like, that was a waste of money. That to me, that was a waste of money, right? I'm telling you, I did such of a poor job. Like my mother used to, before I started driving myself to work, my mother used to be in the parking lot like maybe 10 minutes before I got off, and she I would go, sweep, but I did a piss poor job. And so she would always be watching like, Kyndra, I noticed that they come behind you. And I'm like, I don't know what their problem is. Again, they're the ones who recruited me for the job, right? Like y'all know how, I think we've all been in this situation. You try to go out with someone, you ask them a couple times for their number, and they just like, by the third time, they're like, oh, well, here it is. They're not really interested. It's just kind of, they're giving you a pity, like, okay, here's my number out of pity. Well, they asked me a few times to say, hey, I really want you to work here. And I'm like, nah. After like the third time, okay, y'all want me so bad. Here you go. But y'all, I'm telling you, I came at the very tail end where, again, business is very slow. These places started shutting down, right? And then after that job, that's when I went to go work at the gym, right? But yeah, man, listen, it's never a dull moment in my life.
That's funny.
Well, listen, we're at the tail end of our episode. Ceesh, go ahead. Please let everybody know, Goddess of Comedy. Again, I want you to shout out your your loctician page. Please shout out your regular socials, anything else that you want to shout out. And if you're doing any shows this upcoming month, go ahead.
Hello, it is I, Ceesh Money, the Goddess of Comedy. You can follow me on Instagram at SEESHMONEY_ lock page, Holy Locks LLC, HOLILOCS LLC on Instagram. I ain't got no shows coming up. Kind of taking it easy, working on my material. Nothing too major.
All right. Love it. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ryan, go ahead.
I got a ton of shows coming up, but you can follow me on my socials at Ryan Resell right here. And yeah, I'll be at Helium in August. If you're around in Philly, come there. DM me, I'll give you free tickets to anybody. But yeah.
All right. That's good. Well, thank you both to my guests for coming on my podcast, sharing never before heard stories, because this is my first time telling that story about my couple jobs and everything else like that. Make sure you guys please like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to turn that notification bell on. Share this episode. With that being said, you all be blessed. You all be safe. We're out.